Hello there, baseball fans. I've been wanting to do a video series for a long time on the different elements of what the negotiations are like, what's going on right now, what the different issues are when it comes to the owners versus the players' union, what's keeping this lockout going on. I'm going to start out with a radical idea. This is nothing that's on the table at all, but this is an idea I had a while ago that I would love to see implemented. And on the face of it, it seems to strongly only favor the owners. But I want to talk this out, and I want to really invite you guys to put as many wild out there ideas into the comments, back yourself up, come up with a wild idea, but it really does have to make sense. It should benefit the owners, the sport health as a whole, and of course also the players. And as always, it's all about money. At the end of the day, it's always about money, making sure that the money is split up the right ways and that it's being fair, that everything is on a level playing field. So my out there idea is that a September call-up should not count against a player's service time. What does that mean? Once a player accumulates enough service time, they become arbitration eligible, and the sooner they go through that process, the sooner they become a free agent. So you would think that any time in the major leagues where a player is playing for a team and service time is not getting accrued, it's only going to help that team get more games out of that player overall, which is true. So let's start out with some of the obvious, and also let's talk about why it's good for the sport as a whole. There are so many times where a team has nothing left to play for. They are eliminated or they are way, way, way outsiders. They're not going to make a playoff push. It's getting into the late summer. The team sucks. There's no reason to watch them. By all means, White Sox fans, we've been there so much over the last 10 years. Those miserable late summer games. All the good players on your team have been traded away, and we're just playing off the last string. And when I was younger, there would still be some excitement because September call-ups would happen where we'd maybe start to see these highly touted future faces of the franchise getting called up to get their first major league action. That doesn't really happen anymore. And the reason that doesn't happen is because, well, it makes sense that ownership wouldn't want to get that service clock to start to tick, which would basically remove them from the team faster. As it stands, service time manipulation is a big deal in these negotiations right now. And this, on the face of it, seems like it would be a huge negative that the Players Association wouldn't want to go for. But again, let's first talk about how it's going to help the team, help ownership. You can get fans in the stadium for those September games that sometimes don't mean anything because they do want to see these highly graded AAA, AA players get their first major league action. Ratings could go up. Ticket sales would definitely go up, especially as we know as White Sox fans, when a highly graded prospect comes up, that stadium is full. Remember Michael Kopech's first games? The White Sox had nothing going on, but he got to get some starts. And that stadium was rocking like it was a playoff game. All right, now let's talk about how it benefits the player. And there's actually a lot more ways than I even initially thought of as I continue to put together more ideas. First off is just the very obvious dollars and cents of it all. The average minor league player, this is according to ESPN, makes between $8,000 and $14,000 between April and October. That's crazy. That is so little. And of course, some of the highest end guys, they may have been drafted in the first or second or even 10th rounds and they got a nice big bonus right off the top. A lot of these guys didn't. So trying to live on a salary that low is insane. If they do get that call up in September, they would get the league minimum salary, which is $570,000 for the whole season. So prorated, it still comes to over $100,000. So they would go from that minuscule salary to making $100,000 in just the month of September. And it's already known that the league minimum is going to go up in the new agreement. We don't know exactly how much, but it's probably going to go up to about $650,000 to $750,000, which makes that an even bigger 1 month payout. The most important thing at the end of the day should be the player's development. The player, if they are ready to take that next step, and then they can work in the current season instead of having to wait a whole nother year to face major league competition. This could really help them become better players, develop better. And that really should be the end goal for both sides, the players and management. We want these players at their tip-top shape. Let's not slow their progress, slow their growth. Let them become impact players as soon as possible. And hey, maybe a month of Major League Baseball action for some of them is going to make that difference. And when they finally do start to accrue service time the following year, and hopefully again they play the whole year after that. Right now, arbitration happens after the third year of making the league minimum salary. That might go down to the second year. That's what the players are hoping for, and I think that makes sense. Let's keep the team control the same. It's still 6 years, but maybe they can get into arbitration faster. And if they do, those arbitration raises are based on past performance. So if you have a whole additional month of getting at bats, logging home runs or strikeouts, if you're a pitcher, wins, innings pitched, if you can make those counting stats go up for just even another month, that could help get a bigger raise on arbitration, and that will continue to affect each arbitration salary after that. So maybe a little bit of free service time can pay off big money later on. And of course, there's always the possibility, no guarantee here, but possibility that a player makes a big enough impact that they can start to get some, local marketing opportunities where they can get appearance fees for opening a car dealership, stuff like that, which they wouldn't have that opportunity at all if they're just stuck down in the minor leagues the whole time. And there's still no guarantee of that, but there's a chance at least. Now, league and union would have to figure out some language to make it so that if a player does get called up, they have the opportunity to start on opening day the following year. We don't want service time manipulation after that, of course. But at the same time, if they get called up and play terribly, well, team should be under no obligation to keep them on the roster to start the next season. So there has to be some language worked out. I don't have this all the way figured out. This is just an idea I'm throwing at you, and maybe you guys can fine tune it a little bit for me. But yeah, that's my idea. Allow highly rated prospects to get called up in September. Don't have it count against their service time. There's a lot of ways this would benefit the players and the team, and overall the sport of baseball, because that's what we really want to have happen. The CBA, we so often look at what each side wants, but the health of the sport is the thing that makes everybody happy. And I think this is one such unusual idea that if it was integrated, it would help the overall sport of the baseball. Give fans in a team with a losing team a reason to turn on the game, while at the same time selling more tickets and giving these minor league players their first taste of big league action and big league money. So that, I think it helps everybody all around. Let me know if you have any ideas on this topic. If you have any out there ideas on your own, I want to hear them. We'll definitely talk about them. And of course, we'll show your comments up on the screen if you guys have any ideas. Do you guys have any questions about what the negotiations are, where things stand right now? I do want to do a series where I talk about each of the individual issues, but if you have any direct questions, maybe we can do even a live chat to talk about how things are going and what is shaping up, what is in play, what is out of play. There has been some movement, but really not enough. There's a long way to go. I'm sure a lot of you are going to ask, do I think the season is going to start on time? No, I don't, unfortunately. I think spring training will get delayed. We could still get a 162-game season in, but we'd have to shift the games probably a little bit later. It's still possible we start on time as scheduled, but we really just haven't seen enough progress lately for me to have any confidence in that right now. I'm still hopeful, but we shall see. I hope you guys are all doing well, staying warm in this bitter cold winter that we are still experiencing, and it's even colder with no real baseball activity to talk about. So, of course, thanks for watching, and go Sox.